Hey, you made it to this video. You clicked on the link in our other description for the Guys on Sports episode that you definitely watched. You definitely are subscribed. You're definitely liking this video. And you're commenting and letting us know if Phil's top 12 for his fantasy quarterbacks is good, bad, or somewhere in between. Yeah,
quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, so this is a little mini-series that we're doing. I'll look into this camera this time. We've done the top 12 tight ends. We've done the top 12 wide receivers. Both have their gripes. Both have their correct predictions, I think.
All opinions.
All opinions. Hey, the great thing about opinions is they can change, too.
It's very
fantasy, right?
opinion heavy.
Fantasy, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
fantasy.
So you're going to be ranking these quarterbacks fantasy from 1 to 12. We're going to start with the 12th.
On their fantasy finishes.
Fantasy finished. The floor is yours.
I can't wait to see where DJ goes.
Okay, we're going 12 down, huh?
Yeah. So I think you should just list them, kind of like how you do a recap for Guys on Draft. Go back and watch
Yeah, I got
Guys
you.
on Draft.
I'm going to list them.
Yes, sir.
With no interruption.
With no interruption, and then
No
we're just gonna interrupt you.
You can make faces.
That's not what we did for the other ones, though, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just went straight through. All right, starting at 12, and this guy's a newcomer. He's breaking the list this year. He wasn't there last year. You're going to be on board. Dangerous. This is my 12th overall fantasy quarterback this year. Sean Payton, reinvigorating that offense. They got the weapons. I think he has a bounce back year. And he still has a few rushing yards left in those legs. Then, 11 is Dak Prescott. 10 is Deshaun Watson. 9 is Trevor Lawrence. 8 is Aaron Rodgers. 7 is Mr. Daniel Dimes. 6 is Joe Burrow. 5 is Lamar Jackson. Mahomes is 4. Allen is 3. Hurts is 2. And Justin Fields is number 1.
Boom!
Justin Fields this will be the Justin Fields Michael Vick year.
And this is from a fantasy standpoint, right?
Fantasy standpoint, yes.
My very first initial reaction is Trevor Lawrence is incredibly low.
I don't think so.
His offense is going to be really good next year.
And Danny is too high.
Well, of course. I already expect that.
I think Daniel Jones has good rushing value.
Yeah, we'll see.
Probably around 9.
7, yeah.
He'll have over 35 total TDs this year.
I think this list is perfect.
No, that's a well,
He
you would love that.
almost, well, of course. But go ahead. I want you to challenge, and then I could respond to
I
him.
think Trevor Lawrence being at 9 is criminally low because he finished the season so good last year. He finished as, I think, a top 2 fantasy quarterback.
He started it really bad, too.
Well, yeah, but he started with a new head coach. I mean, this is second year with Doug Pearson. He's getting Calvin Ridley.
He did
Fair.
not finish as a
If
number 2 fantasy.
I'm pretty sure.
His last 8
He's
weeks
saying
finished.
the pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying in
last 9 weeks, his pace was a top 2 quarterback.
yeah, like if you were to start the season, then what I'm saying is that he has momentum. The offense is going to be better because they have more weapons, and it's just another year with Doug
Momentum
Pearson.
that carries over 260 days.
Yeah. Are you kidding? Are you telling me that?
No, momentum from season to season is bullshit. It's the NFL. There's teams, every year there's 4 new teams that make the playoffs. It doesn't carry over. But
Player performance momentum does translate.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess because you say so.
Ask
you
Alvin
still
Harper. That's horseshit.
You still have to take into account the first half of the season, even though it's a new coach. Maybe he's a slow starter. Did they start slow again? I mean, there's a lot of variables. You're just picking stuff, the part of it that you want to pick, and saying that's what's going to happen next season.
Maybe they can't get the bag of oats off his face in game 1.
And I think where he's at is respectable because he doesn't offer much rushing upside.
Yes. I think where you have him is actually... I could even take him lower.
Everything that you're getting from him is in the Jacksonville Jaguars offense that is still the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen to me. And you're dependent on his arm throwing touchdowns. That's it.
He had such a good, I mean, maybe it's recency bias, but he had such a good finish of the season. I only see that being better.
Okay, so
out of the 8 ahead of him, who do you jump?
I know he's going to take Danny Dimes out, but besides Danny Dimes, Aaron Rodgers, Burrow, Jackson, Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Fields, you're putting them above any of those guys.
I could see Lawrence and Rodgers going toe to toe because of the same reasons.
I think it's close. I just think that Rodgers has better weapons and is a better quarterback.
I think. Well, I would like to say first with quarterbacks when it comes to the QB 3 to QB 8, like you're looking at a difference of maybe 3 points a game. It's not crazy to say that Lawrence is going to be 9th, but it's also not crazy to say that I can see him being like 5 or 6.
Oh, nobody's saying that it's crazy.
Yeah,
you acting like it was crazy that he's there.
I think it's insane that he finishes as the 9th. Yes, I think.
But so how you just contradicted yourself in 2 sentences?
Because
you just said you don't think it's crazy that he could finish 5th and he could only be 3 to 5 points a game separation. Then you said the next sentence is insane that he's at 9. So then I think it's insane that he's at 5.
Because there's that many. I mean, it's like it's more yards per game. It's more touchdowns thrown per game. Like it's less mistakes that the guy can make. That can put him in a top 5 right there.
Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, not as much, but those 5 guys and Daniel Dimes, I can almost guarantee that they'll both average over 40 yards rushing a game, most likely without injuries. Joe Burrow, he'll scramble here and there. He's not doing that. That's 4 points that you're talking about right there, right out the gate.
Okay. We're just going to agree to disagree on this one.
Well, nobody else is saying anything, so I don't know where you guys stand.
Well, I mean, it's hard to get a word in edgewise.
I already told you. I think your list is perfect.
All right, so what about the... Okay.
I mean, I'm going to say that I tend to agree with Trevor Lawrence, and I think you're understating his potential to run. He didn't run last year.
Well, that's what we have to base it on.
But he still had 5 touchdowns and almost 300 yards. Daniel Jones ran like crazy because he had to. There was nobody to throw to.
Yeah.
And so...
Different story this year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're saying he's going to have 35 total touchdowns.
He will.
But I think he might... I think Trevor Lawrence might have 40 total between rushing and throwing.
Well, all right. So here, the pushback I have on that is, what's his face? Were T-Law's rushing touchdowns fabricated or were they like off script?
He had the one highlight reel, right, where he ran from like 35 or 40 yards out.
I think he can run.
That was a breakdown.
I'm not saying he can't run.
Oh yeah, no, and it was also against like
I just don't think it's part of the offense.
It was also against like a drop back defense.
Again, I think it's been, but I think Daniel Jones's running has been part of the offense because they were trying to create it.
That's true.
I think that steps back. Like I don't think he runs for 700 yards, and you probably don't want him.
He ran for almost 800. I think he runs for almost 700 yards again.
Yeah, 708 last year.
Well, Lawrence also averages.
I'm thinking of the playoffs.
He averages 17 a game anyway, so I mean you can bump that to 2 points a game if you're gonna round it up.
Or you can, I guess you can bump it up.
But I'm not disagreeing. Like I think Danny deserves to be on this list.
I don't think
think he deserves to be right below Joe Burrows.
Yeah.
All right. So who would you put in front of him? All those other guys?
I mean, I would.
Aaron Rodgers.
I would put Trevor Lawrence in front of him.
Okay.
I think Rodgers you want to, but I don't think you do because I think there is a learning curve.
In this day and age in fantasy, I don't know how you put, unless it's Peyton Manning in 2016, I don't know how you put a guy that just throws for touchdowns above any of these guys that can run the ball. It's hard for me to do because I had to, in a bad game, I could still hope to squeak out a touchdown throw and 60, 50 yards on the ground from running quarterback.
Yeah. I mean,
a bad game from Aaron Rodgers is just, it's nothing. And we've seen them last year.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, and that's why I'm saying that I would be reticent to put Rodgers in front of Jones. But the one I have the biggest problem with is, listen, I love Justin Fields. He is going to throw a ton more, but I don't think he's going to run as much. I don't think he's a number one.
I think he is.
I don't think he's a number one.
I think he's definitely a number one contention. Obviously, I'm saying I love the list because he is ranked one. He's definitely with his legs and with that offense being a little bit more potent this season. I think it's going to allow him to actually design run a little bit more, not just break the breakdown runs. I like him. He's in the top 5 for sure. But for me, those top 5 there's a lot of interchange there.
Yeah, it could. I mean,
I still don't know if you jump the shark with Mahomes. Mahomes is usually the clear cut. But then you have guys like
Mahomes wasn't the clear cut last year. Allen was, and the year before that, Jackson was.
No, Mahomes outscored.
I'm not saying outscore. I'm saying going into fantasy drafts.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, for that matter, Air Bear was one of the top scorers.
I think Justin Herbert deserves to be in the top 12.
Yeah.
I had him, and I took him out for Watson, only because I have questions about Staley and if he'll be there all year.
Yeah,
and I don't like his weapons.
And you have
I don't. Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen, but coming into this year, I don't love Keenan Allen.
And you're going.
I don't love
what
Mike
he's got
Williams.
right now.
They're trying to trade away Eckler, so it worries me a little bit with him.
I actually kind of I think Russ can perform higher than his 12 ranking there too.
I think it's a stretch.
He's the worst rushing quarterback.
I think he could, is what I'm saying. Because I think if Javonte comes back healthy, I think with Dolchich coming back, and then you have Judy and Sutton, if they don't move off of one of those guys, I think Russ could surprise.
I think he can. I think this is the surprise.
Yeah,
I think
a surprise is a top 12 finish.
Russell Wilson used to be more of his offense. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think Sean Payton's going to use him like he used Drew Brees a little bit. They're going to put him more in like game manager mode.
I don't think so.
He's not as much of a he's the worst rushing quarterback on this list. I don't think he's going to be having
you said
big.
He's the worst rushing quarterback on this list? You going by stats or just like
I'm going off gut feeling, I guess. I don't have stats to back that up off the dome, but I mean, yeah, off that list, he's probably the worst rushing quarterback.
Saying Fields is better, of course.
Yeah.
Hurts is better, of course. Burrows is better.
Well, they're way.
Well, Burrow isn't a rushing quarterback. I'm saying like of the rushing quarterbacks that you put on this list,
Yeah.
Wilson's the worst.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of the rushing quarterback.
Of the rushing quarterbacks,
And to put on top of that the fact that I think that Russell Wilson won't be like the Josh Allen of his offense. Like
I guess my pushback. The reason I put Russ in, a couple guys could have went there.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
it was more fun to put
spot.
more fun to put Russ.
Yeah.
But I do think that
Gardner
what you're
Minshew
saying
should be
about now you made me forget his name. Sean Payton. The same way he used Brees is not he uses players the way they need to be used. That sounds crazy. But I do think he will get him rolling out, cutting the field in half, making things more simple, more similar to the way they were running Seattle. I think he has something to prove. So this is a little bit of gut feeling on this. I do think it's overblown how bad he is as a player because he did have a really bad year, but Russell Wilson's been a good quarterback for a long time.
Very good quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's been a playmaker. I don't think that is he 33?
Yeah, he's still young.
So I don't think that his legs have fallen off. I think he went to a system with a guy that was coaching Aaron Rodgers for most of his successful years in the NFL and tried to implement the system that's a West Coast timing system. That's never been the quarterback that Russell Wilson is. Been much more, not draw it up, but much more simple reads, roll out, get him in space. I think he'll have a bounce back. I think he's going to be a lot better than you think.
I'm looking forward to Danger Russ to return.
He'll be better.
That's right.
I'd put
Until he
Herbert
puts up better numbers
over
than
him.
Hurts.
So, and Justin Fields, I mean, I don't know what you don't see there.
No, I
I'm
see what
looking
you're
at his
saying.
stats. He had almost 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's going to come way down. Otherwise, I think he gets hurt this year.
I disagree.
And he got 2,200 throwing, and that's got to improve. So let's say that jumps to 3,200, 3,400. I think his rushing could come back to 500.
Well, do you have?
No
I just
way.
argue that he's the number one.
Do you have?
He's going to trim 700 yards off of his rushing totals.
Why do you want him to run in college?
Well, that's not the
Because
question.
He wasn't a running quarterback. In
not the
college,
question.
But he
was a
can run.
throwing-
Look how effective he was running the ball.
He can run for his life.
No, he can.
That's
flat
crazy.
Out, he can run.
He ran for his life last year.
He has great.
Whatever
vision.
he ran for, I mean, he was
Doesn't
running
matter.
like a running back.
Yeah.
How about this? He was
ran
not
'cause
getting
he had to.
tackled.
It doesn't matter. I get what you're saying. You're making the same argument for Daniel Jones, but
He was not
For
getting
him-
tackled on his way to the end zone.
You want to protect your. I mean, this is a guy you drafted.
Yeah,
in the first
but you
round.
also-
wanna
I don't want to
protect
protect him to be a fucking passing quarterback. Hell no. The guy is
him.
a
You want
scrambling
him to
quarterback.
you want him to be a Jalen Hurts. Run when he has to, but throw
Yeah.
first.
You don't know what I want. Don't tell me what I want.
I don't
All
think
right?
you know what you.
I know what I want. I want him to make plays with his legs, and I want that to open up the
All right, so
passing game for these.
let's open this up
receivers.
since you brought up Jalen Hurts, and we got the expert here, right? What Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal athlete that could throw the ball. He's not going to drop back and
Read a
survey
defense.
the field. I'm not saying read a defense. See, you're trying to be jerk off. I'm trying to talk real here. I'm saying he's not coming up to the line in shotgun, audibling all the receivers and picking the defense apart. No. He could throw the ball. Relax yourself. I'm saying consistently, guy. Relax. I'm not saying anything negative. What's wrong with you?
I haven't said anything.
You're ready to jump on me. I'm saying
You're looking at me.
his strengths.
I don't think he can recognize
Okay,
defensive formation.
Whatever. I'm trying to make a point.
Go ahead.
The point is that Justin Fields, yes, you want him to be able to throw the ball. What makes him special is his athleticism and how he can run with the ball.
Yes.
So you wanna,
It's
you
going
wanna
to be a part of his game.
You want that to be, but it should be the major threat of his game and be able to pass off of it. That's what's going to happen.
like
you
Lamar
thinking that he's
in his
going to be a
prime.
pocket passer is never going to happen.
He's
never
not-
gonna happen.
Listen, there's a difference between allowing him to run. It's a difference between designed runs and running for your life.
You
which
don't
is
think
what
they're
he
going to
was doing
design
last-
runs for him?
Yes, but I think if they design runs, they're not going to design and say, this year, our quarterback is going to lead our team in rushing. He's going to run for 1,200 yards. They're not.
Yeah, but you cutting it to 500 is absurd, too.
That's ridiculous.
500 is a lot of yards.
Not when you
No.
rushed for 12 the year before, Rocky.
It's a little
That
low.
would be a fall off for
but-
any other player.
But yeah, it's a fall off, but it's a fall off for good because the team is getting their stuff together.
But you think that they look at him as they want to make him a pocket passer. What did they do with Cam Newton until he was bad when he got used to
How long? I
it?
mean,
Lasted
how long
like almost 8 seasons in Carolina.
So I
They
don't
went
know.
to
I
a
mean,
Super Bowl. He won MVP. I mean,
some teams want to get 10 or 12.
like the Browns.
No, let's. I mean,
I'm just saying, it's
I'm
like-
I'm not saying the Browns. I'm saying that smart teams protect their quarterbacks.
Jalen Hurts was a good pocket passer last year. There's
I'm
multiple games
You're
that
missing my point. I'm saying the things that make him special, not him being a
Yeah,
pocket
but the
passer.
things that
Yes.
make him
Special. Yeah, you had it right.
Was he
special.
drafted to be a pocket passer?
no.
He was drafted
That's the
as a
point he's making.
project.
I'm saying they
Has
learned.
has he become one when he needs to be, and how they want to use him? Yes.
Yes.
Right. That's
It's-
Phil's
That's what I'm
argument.
saying.
See, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But that's
Okay.
what isn't that what you're saying?
drafted
That's
Jalen
what I'm
Hurts
saying.
Yeah.
as a quarterback, hoping he could develop into what he's become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Fields. That's what they should want. Chicago should want a Hurts situation.
What did Hurts finish last season?
Run
fantasy?
when you need to.
QB 2 or
throw a
3.
whole bunch.
Okay. So, like what we're talking about, kind of?
I think you're
Like the
asking
exact
for a
point.
huge jump in year 2 for Fields.
Who was he throwing the ball to last year?
No, Mooney, who I think's
Okay, who's
subpar.
probably the third option now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the second. Yeah, I think
And to your
Claypool-
point, Trevor Lawrence finished the season
but-
with a flourish. Second year with the coach.
But
It's going to be
everything
better.
you're- Yeah,
I'm
but everything
talking.
you're
I'm
saying
talking.
is so he'll throw more, so he won't have to run as much.
Yeah, but you're saying,
saying the
more
same
than
thing.
half of his rushing yards are gone. That's very presumptive. And if you're using that as the basis for why he's not going to be where I'm saying he is, it's kind of bullshit.
And saying that
Do you think Danny
analysis
Jones
was dumb.
is a good running quarterback?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had 700 yards.
Okay.
So
But still 200.
500 yards, 600. Okay, 600 yards. Let's say I overstated it. It's my point is it's.
But he's a
going to
better
come down
running
a
back.
lot.
He's a better running
Was Fields
quarterback.
drafted to be a pocket passer?
Fields.
Yeah.
Yes, in college he was a pocket passer who could run when needed to.
He
turned
wasn't
into
drafted
a-
to be a pocket passer.
There was not design runs.
All
in
right,
the
so
Ohio State offense.
here we're going to argue
No,
forever.
but
Where
that's
do you
the
see?
reason-
You're saying
that's-
not number one. So where do you see him?
That's the reason why the NFL has better evaluation talent.
I think I think you would be incredibly stoked if he's a top 5
Oh,
fantasy
wow.
quarterback.
Dude, he was top. He was 6th last year and missed 4 games.
So top 5.
No, but you just said be incredibly stoked.
He missed top 2.
I
by
think you're overstating your.
100 points.
Listen, he's going to come back. He's not going to run for 1,200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to throw more.
He will run for over 1,000 yards again.
Okay, well, we can make a bet.
Fields was
Definitely
Fields
can.
was a passer in college though. Rocky's right.
I'm
about
not
that.
saying he's wrong about that.
It-
We
it's-
didn't say
it's
he's
so-
wrong about that, but
No,
you're not
what
drafted. You're not
saying-
looking at his game and saying,
Okay.
"Oh my God, he's an amazing pocket passer." He had fucking weapons at Ohio State. He was not. He was not
I
a
don't know
very
what-
good pocket
So
passer.
stupid. So the draft analysis, they know what they're doing. They see
Correct.
a pocket passer
They-
in college.
No,
and
they
say,
drafted him
We're
for
gonna
his
make him
ath-
something he's not. That
They
doesn't make
drafted him
any
for
sense.
his athleticism.
All right, so let me ask you something.
100%.
Let me ask you something. You both. I mean, you're being too. You're not in the fucking war room with them drafting him. So
I know.
relax. All right. You don't know why they drafted him. You don't either.
Yeah.
I
I think
definitely
it's
do.
fair to say that he was. We can say he was a pocket passer in college,
Yeah.
surrounded by some of the best talent in the country.
What
We
was
can
Tim-
say
what
that.
was Tim Tebow
Can I
in
finish
college?
talking?
That's what I
We can
fucking
also
thought.
say that Justin Fields is a freakish athlete, and they could also draft him saying, this guy, he reminds us a little bit of a guy that won MVP 2 years ago, Lamar Jackson, except he's more durable because of his size. Oh, he reminds us of Cam Newton that won an MVP and went to the Super Bowl. We don't know what they were thinking. So you both sound stupid talking in absolutes, number one. We're talking about him finishing first or stoked if he's top 5 when he finished top 6 last year. It makes your argument look bad.
Listen, I don't care if you don't like my argument.
I know
I'm not
you
looking
don't.
for validation from you. It's definitely not. I wouldn't say, I want validation from you guys. I don't care.
I don't care either. So
Okay, that's
touche.
already-
Well, you sound stupid. We're just pointing out
Mark,
you sound stupid.
Mark, your entire existence is
Oh wow,
on
now he's gonna get
wow.
personal. There he goes. That's what he does when he's on the ropes.
Only
not
as-
on the ropes. I'm laughing here because like I
it's
look at it.
so funny.
You look at his college stats. He
All right,
Who
but he's not in
cares?
college
Look
anymore.
at Tim Tebow's college stats.
don't compare Fields to Tebow. Why would you compare?
Because why are you bringing up his college stats?
Yeah, exactly.
He played in the
It doesn't
NFL
matter.
already.
Tim
I get-
Tebow was a pocket passer in college. Was he drafted to be a pocket
Hit
passer?
the button. Dun, dun,
No, he wasn't.
Why was Tim
No,
Tebow
the-
drafted?
dun, dun, oh, the-
I
'Cause
don't
he's
know.
a hell of a football player.
yeah. Hey, only
flamed out.
'Cause
only
he's a
sits
winner.
stealing absolutes.
But all the bullshit aside, I just think it's a little to say you'd be stoked if he's top 5 is a little crazy.
Yeah.
You're going like if we're basing it off last year, then we should expect him to be in top 5. You're going like beyond. You're trying to look into the numbers, what you think.
If he falls out of the
He
top 5,
doesn't
it's a failure.
He doesn't have a body of work.
okay,
so-
what
so-
does that
so
mean? He has last season.
Hurts. How many years has he been in?
What is Trevor
league.
Lawrence's body of work?
Every year he's gotten better, right? But I wouldn't say that, oh man, over the last 10 years, we know what Hurts is like. We do with like Mahomes has got, 5 or 6 years now. We don't know who Fields is yet. We know what he was last year when he was behind.
Well, that's what we got to base it on, though, Rocky.
right.
What do you want to go back to college?
Wait,
and base
but
it on that?
but momentum doesn't exist.
No, exact. It's what you said exactly
Who's
about.
saying momentum, though?
You-
I didn't
you-
say momentum. I
That's-
said he could run.
You can't have it that way with Trevor Lawrence. Where you
What
said-
way?
You said that he did good last.
Explain how I have it that way with both of them.
What's
Since we're calling it
what's
out.
Trevor's
What
body
did
of
I
work?
say?
You
You're
said-
saying that
You're going
what
off last one.
Trevor Lawrence ended can't be a forebearing for what he's going to do this year, except for Fields.
I said it can't be a forbearing for what he's going to do this year.
That's what you said.
What Rocky's saying, I think.
I know what he's trying to
Yeah.
say. I'm trying to make him flesh it out because
No, but
I
that-
didn't
that's-
say that.
You did say that. You said that last year.
No, I said you had to take into account the first half of the season is what I said.
Dun, dun, dun,
Okay.
Okay.
dun, dun,
And I'm taking into account Fields' whole season.
The whole season.
So that is the same
You
for both
can't
of them.
assume that Trevor is going
What
to
did I do different? Explain it. Go ahead. You called me
Gonna
out. Go
play
ahead.
a whole
You
season
slammed
like
on the
the last
table.
half.
Tell me.
I am saying that the body of work is for both of them. It's roughly the same, right?
Okay,
They're drafted
yeah.
the same year.
That's right.
We don't know what they're going to be. We're going off what we think they're going to be.
Yeah.
But we also have to say, what do we think they're going to become? Who do we think they really are? And what I'm saying is, I don't think Fields is a 1,200 every year running. It doesn't make sense. Why would you want him to be?
Well, that's
I'll
a
go
different
over.
argument,
I'll
but
take the over.
what is this?
I don't know.
Oh, we're doing prop bets on how many times Rocky says body work.
It's the fourth time.
The spread's at
I'm
5.5.
not saying he's a I mean, we're arguing about.
we're arguing body of work.
Oh, I cashed.
Five, we got
Cashed.
Nice.
But so, who would you have number one then?
Yeah.
Let's put a ball on this.
I think, to me, I wouldn't say.
Yes, to you.
I think you're heavily discounting. Well, I think to say Herbert not being in the top 12 is ridiculous, even with all they're losing. But I would rather say I think it's going to be somebody like a Mahomes.
Who would
I
you
think it's
take
gonna
out
be
for
somebody
Herbert?
like a Jalen Hurts.
Who would you take out for Herbert?
I would take Russell Wilson out for him. Or to be fair, I might take out Deshaun Watson and say we got to see some.
What about Dak?
A better body of work.
I would take out
I
Dak.
mean, Dak. I don't know.
He's been a
Dak's
top scorer for
predominantly
almost
a
every
top-
year.
Yeah, he's
no
a
one,
top
no one.
12 guy.
Wait, time out. No one is talking about how Kellen Moore is not in Dallas anymore.
He got fired, right?
No, he left for the Chargers. He's now going to do what he did with Dak with
Maybe.
Justin Herbert. They're going to
Maybe.
be passing the shit out of that ball.
They
They're going to be.
kind of were though.
They're going to be doing even more. No one talks about
You know
how
what we
I
should
think
do?
the Cowboys are going to be digressing or
I think this is the most
declining.
contentious one we've had. You guys should all do your top 12 QBs.
Oh, we do a mini series in the mini series.
Well, we should. I mean,
That's a lot of work.
Everybody's so passionate about it.
I think they moved to Dak throwing the ball more. That's why they got. I mean, to get Jerry Jones off of Zeke is basically like having Rocky open up his mouth and pulling out one of his goddamn teeth because he was so attached to Zeke that they're now. He was so attached to Zeke that now they're moving towards the more.
You know who's calling offense? Mike McCarthy's calling the offense in Dallas.
I don't give a shit. Dak will call the offense.
That's not good for the Cowboys.
So
Dak is not going to be as good.
if you don't think
Herbert-
that Jerry Jones has a major influence over that
He
offense,
does, of course.
then you're out of your mind.
I'm not saying he's
You're
not.
out of your
out and they
mind.
get-
You're out of your gourd.
They go out and they get Brandon Cooks, right?
That's
like,
right.
Like a bona fide wide receiver too,
Stud.
right? And then you shift
Don't
off
discount.
Zeke.
Don't do that to Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then you
He's just on the Cowboys now. It's hard to prop anyone.
And
I
now,
just prop
now
Jalen
the very
Hurts up, and I hate him.
athletic, very reception-heavy Tony Pollard is a full-time go. This offense is going to be explosive.
I love the way sometimes you phrase stuff like perfect for TV. It's funny.
All right. I would say that Trevor Lawrence is too low. I'd put him closer to Joe Burrow, and I think
So
your 11th and 12th
two spots. Okay.
ish. Yeah. And then Joe Burrow. I mean, I'm sorry. Your 11 and 12 can be taken out entirely. Different quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean,
Justin Fields, the 1, probably not. The 2, the 3, yes.
Okay.
Your list isn't like off.
I feel so much better now.
And that's what I was saying. I wasn't saying Fields doesn't belong on the list. I'm saying I don't think to
Well,
put
I
him
mean,
number
it's a
one.
big discrepancy. You're saying we'd
You
be stoked if he made top 5. So
700.
I mean,
yards
I'm not criticizing. I'm saying just say
Listen,
what you're saying though.
The
you know?
same thing he was saying about quarterbacks 4 to 8. You can say about 1 to. I mean, it separates
Like-
by like 20
like I
points
said,
every
so
So
quarter.
then
Quarter to
why
5.
why is such a big thing about it then?
I didn't think saying Fields shouldn't be number 1 was so. But I forgot
Well,
I
I
was
didn't
with
know.
the Fields fan club.
Well, yeah,
followed
maybe
him
you
for-
triggered him a little bit,
Followed
but
him for 13 games, so
You
he
just-
knows everything about Fields.
you caught me off when you.
I mean, you're comparing. Goddamn,
shit. Here we go.
you're comparing college,
Hit the button
Rocky.
again.
It's a completely different
song.
game, man.
the thing that caught me. It was just he's gonna 700 less rush yards a lot.
That's
So-
Yeah,
That's
I guess
stupid.
And honestly, if he does have that much less rush yards, then he's not a top 5 quarterback.
And you didn't
But
draft him to
that's
have 700 less rush yards either. That's my
He's
point.
gonna rush for a lot of yards.
He's going to rush
Rocky.
for a lot of yards. You didn't draft him to only have 500 yards rushing.
I'm not drafting Justin Fields in my top 5 quarterbacks.
Fantasy wise?
Yeah. So like you
that's
see,
crazy.
like I don't think like there are other quarterbacks I think
Hey,
are
well,
safer bets.
all of us are wrong sometimes.
There
and
are
that's
safer
okay.
bets. There are safer bets.
Yeah, they're safer bets.
Yeah, you
Like,
should get Jared Goff.
Hey, if you are still watching this
too.
video,
I like
please
Jared Goff.
He
let
was
us know.
also almost 12.
Let us know what you think. We're going to wrap this one up. Follow us on G1 Podcasts everywhere. Listen to us on YouTube, on Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, the whole 9. We love you. Goodbye. We'll see you later.